Welcome back. You are tuned in to IBL, inspired by Onika, speaking on life and inspiring people. Hi everyone and welcome. This is episode 22 and this is Poetry Flip number 5. The title for today's poem is Delicate Flower She Be. So Delicate Flower She Be is a poem that it's a more recent one from March of this year, and this particular poem was written in response to a writing prompt, and the guidelines for this particular one was you were to pick one of 3 quotes to include in your piece, and also you had to write something about the human condition. So of those quotes that you were to include, one of them is there are years that ask questions and years that answer, and that was from Zora Neale Hurston. The title of Their Eyes Were Watching God. Also, the second quote was The Marks Human Leave Are Too Often Scars, and that's by John Green from the title of The Fault in Our Stars. Then the third one is Sometimes I Think Being Scared is Half the Fun. That is by Crystal Sutherland from the title of House of Hollow. And so those were the 3 quotes you were to include in your poem that you wrote, and you had to write about human condition elements. So the one that I chose for this particular title, Delicate Flower She Be, is the one by Zora Neale Hurston. There are years to ask questions and years that answer. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this one, and then I'll give you a little bit more background on this one. So here we go. Delicate Flower She Be. You see her walking down the street, purpose in her eyes, meaning in her walk, strut like you have never seen, delicate flower she be. Wearing her armor of protection, the look in her eyes lets you know, back up or I will cut you. A face that tells you she means business. She ain't here for the games, delicate flower she be. Like the weeds that grow in your garden, the dandelions that grow in the empty lot on the corner, growing in between the cracks in the ground, she rises up, delicate flower she be. Having the nerve to go where you wouldn't expect, she stands tall and firm. There are years that ask questions and years that answer. Looking at her reveals both question and answer, delicate flower she be. Hard pavement of the concrete matches the look on her face. Meeting your gaze, she stares back, not a smile anywhere to be found. Delicate flower she be. Inside, she is just waiting for someone, someone that sees her and brings out the smile, simultaneously holding her delicately and firmly, in full bloom, as delicate as can be. Delicate flower she be. Poem. Okay, so as you can see, definitely human condition elements, emotions, social interaction, resilience, and also growth. So, when you see a person and they can look so hardened on the outside, like you can just tell that they've lived a rough life. They've had a lot of hard times. They just you can just kind of see it all over them. But that doesn't mean, based on how they look on the outside, that that's the person they are on the inside. So those are the human elements that I wrote about in this particular poem. And as far as the social interaction is concerned, it's like, when you look at her and she stares back at you, you might be able to see her emotions through her eyes. That's one way into the soul of this person. And just because someone may look hardened on the outside, they are usually the biggest teddy bears. They're as delicate as can be, but you just never know what someone is going through just by simply a look. You know what I mean? And resilience is just like, if you think about how weeds grow, they grow in some of the craziest conditions. they actually are able to grow and stand tall, and they grow in conditions where most other like plants and flowers are not able to survive at all. So you wonder, like, how is this possible? So that's a little bit of how the resilience piece, ties into it. And as far as growth, so we all grow from the time we're children to teens to our adult years. And the obvious way that we grow is physically, of course, but we also grow emotionally as well. And so delicate flower she be, she's just bursting for that chance, or for someone to see her and hold her firmly but delicately as well. Like she's just waiting for the right circumstance to bring out that smile that's just right there on the edge, just bursting to come across her face. You know what I mean? So you just think about that. I know that, some of you may have had some circumstances in life and some things to where this may describe how you have felt at one time or another. But I just hope you enjoyed the title, Delicate Flower She Be. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in. You can share this with a friend, loved one, anyone who you think can relate to this, because I'm sure there are lots of us who go through this, and we may not always want to share our story, or we may think other people may not see this, but you just think about it, and it can be anyone. It can be anyone. So, again, like, share, subscribe. And again, thank you for tuning in. This is episode 22 of Poetry Flip number 5, Delicate Flower She Be. And until next time, stay well and be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. You can hear this and all episodes on the Podbean app, YouTube, and Listen Notes. Until next time, stay well and be blessed.